Hey guys, we just got back from Overlord. This, what would you call this?
I don't know.
World War II, grindhouse sort
Zombies.
of zombie movie.
Kinda, yeah.
And it mixes paratrooping and World War II with a zombie horror film. What did you guys think?
Combine both things that I love: horror and old school war movies.
yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like
I
this
really
movie too.
enjoyed it.
Oh, okay, excellent. And then this is sort of the beginning of a bunch of holiday movies. There's a lot of movies for us to review in November and December. So this one kicks it off. Is this one worth seeing in theaters?
I think so. If you
I
have
think
nothing to do,
Definitely.
definite watch.
Like, this is one that even if you, like, maybe I'll wait till Netflix, the sound alone for this film, they did such a good job, and, like, you could feel, I mean, we were in a really nice theater, right?
Yeah.
Where there's actually speakers in the seats, too.
Oh, yeah.
And it was nice. There's a lot of, like, really good war scenes that if you can see it on the big screen with, like, a really nice sound system, I think you should.
Yeah, so the film works as a World War II paratrooper movie. It was really exciting. The opening sequence of them doing the parajump into behind enemy lines while under fire from all the flak explosions was very immersive, realistic feeling. So what I'm saying is the first half feels like a paratrooper movie. And I wanted to see the rest of that paratrooper
me too.
movie.
I completely forgot about the horror aspect.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
there's
let's
zombies.
jump in and kill
Sweet.
some fucking Nazis. And I was like, oh, okay, let's do this. But then you get that horror. It
Yeah.
slows down considerably after they jump. Maybe drags just a tad for me there. But then it works as a self-contained horror film. And you're mixing it a little bit with the Nazi and the occult. Which is kind of stuff that inspired Wolfenstein. It's been said that Hitler was fascinated with the occult. So this is that kind of film, and it's got this sort of little B movie grindhouse flair. The opening titles, the opening titles, they make it look like a war film with the Overlord, and then at the end of the film, it looks like a World War II propaganda film that you had just seen. I thought those were nice little touches.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. This is like right up your alley because you like bad horror films, but I think that the production value on this was probably
too
a little
good.
bit higher than what you're used to.
It was.
Produced by Bad Robot. That's J.J. Abrams' production company. The director, I'm not really familiar with his work. A lot of the actors in this I didn't recognize. However, there is one, and he looks creepily familiar. I couldn't put my finger on it, Joe. Who is this?
Mr. Ford, I was like, this guy has a canning resemblance to
Yeah. Who
Kurt
was it?
Russell.
Yeah.
It's Kurt Russell's son, who plays the explosive expert. So the mission is basically there's a radio tower, operations tower, whatnot, on a church, and these paratroopers have to go destroy it. They only have a few hours to do it because you have the rest of the soldiers going to be performing the D-Day landing, and this will help out and give them air support. So they're on a clock, and he joins the team right there on the plane. Kurt Russell's son's character as their explosives expert. You have, I think his name is Boyd, who is the main character of the film, and he is just this paragon of virtue. He is
Kind of annoying where it's just like, come on, we get it. You're a good guy.
a little bit of a cliche, this character.
Yeah.
So, and he does a few things in the film, and he sort of acts out where it kind of breaks your immersion. Okay, if he's that, of paragon of virtue, and then all of a sudden he's this, I don't know, momentarily. So, it had a little bit of those types of cliches in it, but overall, I think it overcomes them with a very entertaining conclusion. Especially, what do you think of the gore in the film?
There was some really cool, I mean, there was a lot of CG stuff, but there were some really cool practical effects that were happening with some of these mutant zombie things, and I really liked them.
Yeah, I think a lot of the zombie stuff, they stayed away from using pure CGI, which is good. You never want your zombies to be pure CGI, so they used a lot of practical effects, a lot of special effect makeup that looks fantastic. This is more gory than, say, Halloween. And there are some sequences where they discover the serum. And no spoilers here, but obviously in the trailers, you see some of this stuff, and the serum is used in order to make these zombies.
Reincarnations.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's some scenes that you see and how this comes to be and how they transform, and I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it was actually surprising some of the things they did. I mean, to not give it too much away, but he pulls the sheets back on some of the experiments, and it's just like, wow, that is jarring.
Yeah.
Like, that's an interesting thing that they did.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about the film. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty standard.
You know exactly what's going to happen. If you've seen the preview, that's what happens in the movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it did satisfy me for the horror element, but I still feel like there's some more that could have been ventured into that aspect.
It almost felt incomplete because you had like the start of a really good World War II movie, and then you kind of had the middlings and the end of a horror film that you're like, I wanted either you to finish this one or tell me like the beginnings of this one.
Exactly.
Okay, I totally agree with that, Joe, because like we said, when we were watching the film, I turned over to Joe, I was like, this is really good.
Yeah.
And you know, the opening of it when they're doing the World War II paratrooper stuff, and when they land, they get a little bit of the atmosphere of what it's like to land. You see some gunfire in the background and the chaos of the event, and I'm like, shit, man, this is good. So because the film it's not really a long film either. It has to split its time between two, elements. And both are done well. You wanted more. You wanted more of that paratrooper stuff and fighting the German army, and you wanted a little bit more of the zombie stuff. It's very difficult to. I'm going in circles now because it's very difficult to talk about without spoiling some of its better moments in the film. We're trying to stay away from that. What about the performances? These are a lot of these people I'm not familiar with it. You're not going to get any, face actors, people that you recognize. How do you think they did?
To me, they're like generic actors. They did their job. It was fine. It was satisfying.
Well, Angryjoe was the German officer, the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, true, but he's not a big name.
No, he's not a big name, but he was.
And Kurt Russell's son does an all right job, but again, doesn't have the star power. So it's the concept and the premise of Overlord that is going to draw people in, and I really think it's a fantastic concept. And me and Joe were saying, man, we really hope this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Please let this be good. And it wasn't bad. And in my opinion, it was good. I mean, it's not an instant cult classic.
No.
It's not one that I would probably. I might see this again. When it comes out on something like Netflix or something easily. But would you buy the DVD or anything like that?
Yeah, just to have.
You really
honestly,
would?
honestly,
like that.
I love the horror and the World War II things.
I haven't bought a DVD in I can't tell you when, so it's like I'm not buying the DVD for this one.
Because that would have to be a 10 out of 10 for you to get that DVD. All right. Well, I don't want to spoil too much, so let's jump in. Let's go ahead and do some final verdicts. But before that, I do want to talk about the subplot. So there's maybe one or two subplots going on here. All the soldiers get a tiny sprinkling of backstory. You've got a sort of a Jersey guy from New York. You've got the timid, nerd type character, the photographer. It gets a little sprinkling here and there, some cliches that do their job, right? They don't really annoy you. But what do you think about so they're paratrooping into a French town. So you have this character named Chloe and her little brother. How did you think that did in there?
I was thinking they're going to be off-putting, very annoying, but they were not. They were fine for the story, for the subplot.
I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. There was parts where they focused on the subplot to the point where it was so jarring. It kind of pulled me out of the whole movie for like a minute going, this is kind of stupid. Like you realize that they kept saying over and over and over, it's like, well, the D-Day's tomorrow at 6 a.m. and 150,000 people are storming the beach. He's like, but I won't do the mission until we save the little boy. It's like, but all those guys are gonna die on the beach. Like,
yeah,
I know. I'm sorry about the little boy, but like this is what we're here for.
It's like subplot threatens several times to become the main plot.
Yeah,
and it's a little shaky on whether the believability is there for that. But the boy himself does a good job. He doesn't get in the way. You feel the conviction and the strength from Chloe's character. So I think she did a great job too. So just wanted to mention that not only is the main interesting plot, enjoyable. You get a nice climax, but it kind of goes pretty much how you think it's going to go. There's no real spins, reveals, nothing like that. If you've seen a lot of these types of horror films and zombie movies, this is done well. But they haven't done Nazi zombies a lot. I guess they did. What film was that? Snow something.
Yeah, Dead Snow.
Dead Snow.
Like I know what you're talking about.
Is this better than Dead Snow?
I think so.
Wow,
Plus,
you waited on that one a little
I was
bit.
thinking about it. It's like I forgot some parts, but maybe because this is fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's surprising to me is that the zombies themselves do very little killing in a sense. It's not like the World War Z where the zombies are coming at you and you're having heavy gunfire and stuff and you're trying to take care of them. It's more battles between bosses. And it feels very video game-ish at times, I think. So, so let's go final verdicts. What would you give this, Alex?
7. I like 7. I think this was like threatening to be like a 9 out of 10 for the first like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm watching this, I'm going like, I'm getting into this. Like if they keep this the whole way, and then it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't, it didn't go down to a 5, but it just it slowly went down, and there was the cliches. There was that one jarring moment where it's like, I don't buy it. Like, this is stupid. And then it just it won me back a little bit. So I think that this is a good movie. It's worth seeing in the theaters, but it's not a great movie.
Yeah, I'll give that a 7. In the beginning, I really loved that whole little brotherhood that they were going for, and I want to see some more of that. But there was no breakout star. The whole thing with the zombies, it was a great concept. The horror element for that, I wish they would have explored it a little bit more, but it still satisfied me. This is a good movie for me. 7.
Okay, yeah. I was hoping they wouldn't fuck it up, and they didn't fuck it up. Now,
Yes.
It starts so good that I suffered a small disappointment by the end because I was like, God damn, that was really a great opening with all the paratrooper stuff. And by the end, it picks it up a little bit. But I was hoping for a little bit more monster battle action. Some of the sort of mainline troops rather than just the boss battles, because you get your boss battles. And the middle drag just a slight bit, perhaps because none of these characters have the charisma to sort of pull you through all the different scenes with the different dialogue and stuff like that. There's some torture scenes that are interesting, but not quite, like you're really involved in them. So I think overall, it's potential. Like I said, I'm on the fence. I mean, it started out as a 9, and then as it went along, it went to an 8, and then I think overall it's a 7. And so 7 out of 10 for me as well.
We did it.
We
agree.
Is that a first?
I don't know.
We don't normally agree on stuff. Yeah.
Man, we've made years of these. I'm sure we have had, scores all across the board. So 7 out of 10 for Overlord. We think it's worth checking out in the theater. So this weekend, what else is there? You got Grinch, you got this, and something else. But this is probably your best bet. All right, so stick around. We're going to have a spoiler section if you want to take a look at that. If not, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. What is this background you got here, Joe?
Pirates in the sky.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It's the
everything is
dumbest
stupid to you.
fucking thing because they're dirigibles, right? And they're aiming their cannons at the hulls instead of the fucking balloon that's hovering them through the sky.
They're honorable pirates.
Exactly.
Honorable pirates.
Honorable pirates.
There's no wood shrapnel popping that balloon.
God damn it! Do you have to ruin everything?
Just
Alex?
things that he loves.
I know. I got to change it now.
No, I like it. But now you'll never stop thinking about
yeah,
why
I
don't
know,
they
I
fucking
have.
pop the balloon.
I know. I have.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section for Overlord, the World War II zombie action flick. So the main plot line, essentially, there is I don't know if I spoiled it. Should I have mentioned the serum in the main one?
It's in the trailer. I mean,
Is it?
it's
I
there.
think
They know
so.
what's going on.
Man, you get injected with it. So there's a serum, and do they ever really explain where the serum comes from?
They mentioned,
Vaguely.
they explained very little, which I think is a benefit, right? Because anytime you get
It's not important.
well, if you delve into the science or you try to like make sense of something, it's like, no, that's stupid. They're just like, we found this goo. It's under the village. They couldn't
They
figure out.
never even mentioned goo. What is this goo? I never heard them mention goo. They said these French are so stupid they didn't realize they were standing right on it, or they built right over it and they never took advantage of it. That's the kind of reference that you get to what the serum is. However, they have to like run the serum through bodies first.
Yeah, it's be refined in their bodies. But you get these
Refined in the
weird
bodies.
Matrix-like scenes where these
Yeah.
people are in these hanging bags, and there's like amniotic fluid or something in there, and they pump the stuff into them, and then they extract it out. It was kind of graphic.
That part was like gory and interesting. And I'm surprised that when he opened that bag and the person pops out, he's got a little mask, but he's like, you can still hear him. Help me, please kill me or something like
That
that.
fucking head.
But he
Yeah,
didn't
the
say
severed
anything.
head.
Severed head.
There's just a
was
severed head
awesome.
with a spine talking, like, help me.
That
It's like,
was
oh, man.
really fucking creepy. So those were some really good shots, some really interesting things in there. But yeah, they don't really mention it other than that.
Also, unfortunately, we only get one zombie.
We get
There was a
zombie.
bunch of
No,
zombies.
we get like
Where?
8 zombies, but you're right,
No,
Joe,
you
in
get
the
one
sense
zombie for the whole shot. You get technically you get the boss battle, but you only have one zombie.
You got the soldier zombie, like their buddy
no,
that turns into a zombie.
No, Joe.
That doesn't really
what I'm
count.
saying, Joe, I think is meaning that you only get one full-fledged zombie that you get to see and you
Yeah.
get to interact with, as opposed to bunch show up and then die off screen.
Yeah, pretty
so
much
let's
instantly.
mention all these. So first, the aunt. I wanted to see more with the aunt. So when these soldiers go to the French town, they meet up with Chloe. Her aunt is sick, and she sounds like a zombie behind that closed door. And I was like, this is interesting. This is when the movie is still like at a 9-8.
yeah, I like that
right?
mystery. It's like what's going on?
It's
in that
really
room?
cool. And you looked in there, and I wanted to see a bed and some fucked up shit, but they fucked that part up a little bit. And she just appears in the thing, and then that's it. And she's like, I told you my aunt was sick. And I thought it could get a little
She ain't
conspiracy
sick.
a little
She's
bit, like
fucking
maybe
dead.
Chloe's in on it. But you never really get to see the aunt. She doesn't play a factor in. I thought maybe she'd attack those Nazi soldiers. They searched the house, and I thought, oh man, this is gonna be a nice little scene with the aunt going fucking crazy, But no, you just see some gunfire in the top upstairs window, and that just implies that they shot up the aunt with no effort. So that's your first hint at the zombie. No, the first hint is you see like this messed up little dog jackal thing.
Well, see, I thought those were
When they
kind of
paratroop
just
down.
like hosts, though, because like they just toss those bodies aside.
Right, yeah.
They're not really zombies. They're just like hosts because they filter that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it's
Okay.
the stuff that they're filtering the goo
Yeah.
through.
And then
They're jacked up
because you
stuff.
see the same kind of outbreak on the soldiers that they're burning alive or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first zombie you see is they're torturing the German officer who's in charge of the whole village, and they're interrogating him, and he kind of he escapes. There's a little bit of a scuffle, and then the German shoots the photographer of the group, and he dies. And then so he
That's one of the better scenes when they inject that photographer with the serum, and he pops right back up. And
he
he's
comes
like,
back
I feel
to life.
good.
Yeah. And then he freaks out and breaks his own spine, and it's real weird.
Yeah, he crushes a can. He's got great strength, but then he starts to convert.
Yeah,
and
that
when
was-
he
that was a
fucking
cool
when his
moment,
head
but I
goes
wouldn't
back,
classify that as like
He
hey,
came
he's
back from the dead.
that's a fucking zombie, Joe.
Not in
Goddamn.
my.
Okay, then what is
does
the
he have to be a
zombie
voodoo
for
zombie?
you?
The
Or-
guy that got let go in that little prison thing. They're looking for the little boy. He's like, oh, check that room. They open the room. Fucking zombie comes out, starts chasing her. That, in my eyes, is like, hey, that's a full-fledged zombie.
There's multiple zombies in the film. Joe got it wrong. But yeah, and then there's the boss battle. The main German investigator guy who was searching the house for, American soldiers or to see if something's up. He gets captured, tortured by Kurt Russell's son's character.
And then
Although
shot
it
in the
was
face.
Floyd?
Floyd.
No,
Ford.
Ford.
I was like,
And then
Floyd.
Boyd is our main character,
Yes.
who was, gosh, I mean, he didn't want to harm a rat or a mouse, they said in this story. Like, a sergeant told him, you need to kill this thing because this rat is shitting all over my fucking pillow. And he doesn't kill it, and he protects it and all this other bullshit. But then, and he doesn't want his friend to die, so he injects his friend with the serum. I was thinking they were going to inject the Nazi guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that
There
they
was.
have to. It's like, what is this? I'm not going to tell you. Well, let's find out. Boom, right? But no, their friend dies, so Boyd picks it up and injects his friend because earlier he saw somebody die and then kind of come back to life with
Yeah.
it. So that's exactly what happens here. But then who takes out this zombie when he gets out of control? It was Boyd, and he does it in the most gory, aggressive
He
way.
crushes his head.
Yeah. And he's been so low key the whole film, holding back. And so, yeah, there is a moment where you feel like he's going to explode and actually kill something. But right then, I don't know, it just didn't feel appropriate to his character.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't buy it. And then I think the next scene, the very next scene, is the part of the movie where they're prepping for D-Day. There's an hour or so until the soldiers hit the beach, and they're like, we have to blow up this tower. And he's like, no, we have to go save the kid.
Right.
And his
stupid virtue.
And
comes in.
he's like, no, we're gonna save the tower. And he's like, this is a direct order. We have to do this. And he's like, no. It's like, whoa, shoot this guy in the face for being
What's his character? He feels so guilty.
about
because
one kid.
I get you.
130,000 people.
I get
are
you
gonna
that
die on
it's
the
the
beach.
kid,
At
but
the
in
same
our
time,
opinion, it's
like,
bad
yeah,
writing because
it is. But like, it's like, hey, she saved us. She brought us in. She's in trouble because of us. I feel guilty.
Yeah, but there was
so-
none of that. There was just, I want to save the kid. It wasn't, we have to save the kid while we do this. He's like, I'm not doing the mission. We're going to go save the kid. It's like, why don't you do both? Which is exactly what they did, so there was no point for the whole scene.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe they could have written the scene a little bit better where Boyd would have went along if it's like, let's do both. And maybe the sergeant character is lying to him so he can get Boyd. Because there's only 4 fucking soldiers to take on this little outpost, which has like 40, 50, 60 guys.
But they are like stormtrooper quality guys where they cannot hit anything.
Wait, stormtrooper is in real German
Yes,
stormtroopers?
yes.
Because if that's true, then those are the elite fucking soldiers. Are you talking Star Wars stormtroopers?
Yes.
Okay, Star Wars.
And this is an Abrams film or produced film, so they couldn't hit anything. Germans killed 2 people in this film.
Yeah.
2. They murdered some woman in a throwaway scene to show you how evil the Germans are.
Shoots her in the head.
And then
as they take villagers to perform
for
the
tests
experiment.
on. And then when the German officer escapes, he shoots their friend, and that's it.
Yeah, the one that they were torturing. The photographer guy goes up to untie him, makes a dumbass mistake. You could see it coming from a mile away.
yeah.
And gets shot in the chest, and then that's when you get injected and turned into the zombie. So eventually they agree. They go into the mission to try to get the boy and the explosives.
Blow
but
up the
maybe, but
communications.
at this point, Boyd is like, no, we have to do our mission first. He's like, no, I'm gonna go get the boy now. And Boyd's like, no, I'm going to do the mission. So, I don't know, a little inconsistent. Maybe we missed some lines or something because
No, we didn't.
that
No.
would have
That
explained
was
it a
basically
little
what
bit.
happened.
No.
And he's like, see, she's not going to wait. She's going to go now. So they go up to plant the explosive, like where she goes down to find her brother, which she finds him, rescues him.
Finds a zombie.
And as they set up the
Cool
explosives.
zombie.
Well, first we have to talk about the lieutenant who escaped. The Nazi lieutenant gets shot in the face as he's leaving, and so he injects himself twice, and he's still living. They hadn't done it yet on somebody that's living, so he turns into a zombie boss.
Super zombie.
And he looks fucking cool as shit. Like, his face is blown off. But then later on, when I came back, I had to go to the bathroom and came back, the zombie makeup had changed. He doesn't look exactly the same as he looked when it first revealed. His face was fucked up because that required hardcore CGI a little bit,
Yeah.
in addition to practical effects. Then when he's fighting later on in the climactic battle, it's a little less of an effect. So I noticed that just because I left for half a second. But yeah, so then it's Ford, Kurt Russell's son, that has this epic battle with him, right?
And he loses. He gets beat up real bad, gets put on a hook.
Yep.
And then
The only way out is to inject himself.
and then he pulls himself off the hook and falls to the ground and grabs the serum and becomes a monster himself to fight the monster.
And he does this because he's got to save his buddy Boyd, who comes in, and just as he's about to kill Ford, the explosions expert, Boyd comes in and shoots him, and he shoots him in the chest, even though he's the one that destroyed the zombie by smashing that head, and that head was nasty looking, and the camera made a point to show it.
Yeah.
So Boyd knows how these things are killed, but he just shoots him in the chest. Of course, that doesn't work. They go on the battle, and then the American injects himself, and then they fight. They have this fight, and it's cool. But then he's like, okay, our side can't have this power either. You go ahead. Locks himself inside. He's blow the whole place up. The other zombies start to wake up, and you're like, okay, we're gonna get a fucking badass fucking. He's fucking punching all these zombies and shit. Doesn't happen.
They just get blown up.
As soon as they walk
he gets
into
ready
the room,
for it, and then blows up.
I was like, you woke me up for this shit?
Right, but no, he himself uses the lighter from the Nazi lieutenant. He's like, all right, I'm done with it. And, the lieutenant comes up because he had knocked him down some well, and whole thing explodes. That's the end of the movie right there. Well, boy, it's in this nice shot.
Ford tells him, he's like, hey, whatever we saw down here, you can't tell anybody.
Yeah,
Right.
we don't want them sifting
Everything's
through.
a secret. And then that's it.
Boyd runs out of the building, and it's nicely done in one full shot of him coming out of the building.
Did you
I
like
thought
that
was
scene?
Very creative. I thought it was cool.
So the problem I had with it is he would run down a hallway and he'd look to the right, and then that way would be exploding. So he'd go to the left till we got to another scene where no matter where he looks, it explodes. And then it just kind of got silly, like bad old sci-fi shows, because he'd run there and all of a sudden a pipe with steam would burst, and he has to go, oh no, I have to run this way
I'd be
now.
kind of paranoid too. And at the end of the tunnel, I thought he was going to trip on that dead body.
Oh, yeah.
I think some of that kind of stuff in the film is done on purpose. It's done with a little bit of B-movie flair on purpose. It's done with a little bit of grindhouse flair on
Which I
purpose.
don't mind. It was good.
And you could tell that by the end credits and the start credits. So I didn't mind some of that. But basically, Sergeant asks him, is there anything down there that we got to, it might be interested? Nope, other than the radar that was destroyed.
Just as I thought.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay,
Carry
cool.
on.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that with only 4 soldiers, they made it out with almost everybody. In fact, they rescued one soldier, the nerdy guy, who was being experimented on. And he, as he was rescuing him, he had to pull this big fucking tube out of him with a damn needle on it. And I thought, okay, is there going to be an after credits? Is there going to be a little reveal that, yeah, he made it out, and they're all kind of in the hospital tent, it turns out the New Yorker jerk is now friends with the little kid.
But he
He's got
hated
a
the
soft
kid.
spot.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff where it's all wrapping up nicely. And you see the soldier that they rescued I got to convince people that ICE helped, end the war and stuff. But I thought that they were going to do something with that, like, or something like that. But no, they just get, all right, you know what? And they don't get to go home. They're just like, we're going to fold you into C Company.
Yeah.
Go fight some more.
Yeah, go blow up more people.
But I do think that kind of potentially sets it up. And they didn't. And what I hate is when films just fucking sequel bait. You know what I mean? And it's an insulting ending. This one gives you one full, complete story, and it wraps it up into this is why there was never any occult stuff, and you never found out what Hitler was doing because it was all right here, and it got destroyed, and then history goes on as normal. Or, if it does really well at the theaters, they could potentially do an Overlord 2, because it's still Operation Overlord a little bit, technically, as they fold into Company C, go on, the guy turns into a zombie as they're out there fighting tanks and shit, and then it does it again. I actually would like that, just because it would force the location out in the open where the film was the best at, in my opinion. The paratrooper stuff, the war stuff, that was really, really cool. So if you fold that into more of the war, and have the zombie outbreak happening while the war is happening and just go crazy with it. That would be fucking cool.
But he wasn't used like
Joe agrees.
Yeah.
But he was used as a refinery. He
versus
wasn't. He wasn't injected with the serum. They were just refining it in his system. Like those people didn't turn into zombies.
Fuck, Alex.
I mean, that's not how it works. And then
I
he's
know,
not. It's
you
not.
ruined it.
He's not like they're not voodoo zombies or rage zombies.
Yeah,
where if
they-
I bite
they
you, he
can't
turns
really
into a
get
zombie.
like-
It's just like I'd love that, right? Where if there's a zombie outbreak in the battlefield and cool stuff happens, but they set it up where we don't think. Well, we don't know that if you bite someone, you turn into a zombie.
You're absolutely right. You're paying more attention, and that's
We
probably
don't know
why
how
they
it
didn't have
gets
the aunt
transferred.
scene that I wanted. You know, that aunt scene, because she's not a zombie. She's just all fucked up from having been used as a fucking carcass. You know, as a fucking. They probably let her out of the zipper bag and let her go home. You know, they're done with her, and they
turned
found
into a
somebody
monster.
else, and she's all fucked up. So she was mercifully killed by those people and those Nazis. So yeah, all right. Well, so that's about as many spoilers as I can think of. No after credit scene, so don't worry about that. What else?
That guy's head exploding when they put a grenade in his mouth was cool.
Yeah. So I was like, how the hell are they going to get into the complex with so many soldiers out there and a fucking half track? And there's only 4 of them. Well, they take the sniper, who's really, really good shot, and then they take the one that they rescued, who apparently is able to operate a heavy machine gun with just one person. A little bit slower, although. They capture one guy.
He does say it, so I'll buy it.
No, I buy it too. They dropped it in there. He's like, hurry up! It's like, this is a 2-person weapon. So they shoot all.
That's how it's supposed to be done,
Yeah.
dude. It's like, hey,
And
just
I'm
make
glad.
a little thing about it.
And I'm glad they must have some script doctors that go in and try to explain some of this stuff. Even though that one I probably would have bought even if nobody said anything. You know what I mean? But people who are into World War II stuff,
Yeah.
Hey, that's not true.
would've said,
The problem I had
couldn't
is
operate that gun that fast with just
And
one.
Arnold's walking around with one.
No, Arnold walking around with 2, dude.
you walk around with 2. But that guy was just injured. He was used as a refinery. Like he's hurting.
All right.
The problem
So
I had
they
with that,
made him.
there was 40 dudes and they couldn't hit one guy.
Yeah.
Nazis killed nobody after the first attic scene.
Well, I mean, I think they nicked his shoulder or something, right? Because he was all bandaged up
That's
at the
afterwards.
end.
because only because he
sniper.
ran in the street to go save a little kid.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we're just beating up on the movie, but that's what we do here in the spoiler
Yeah.
section because these guys just pick things out.
I still liked it.
Yeah. No, it's good, but this is what we discuss here. Good grindhouse zombie World War II film, and in my opinion, since I have only seen sections of Dead Snow, I think it's the best World War II zombie thing that we got outside of video games. I would tell you to play some Wolfenstein, especially some of the newer ones, and you can get that same kind of movie like Flare, but to see it up on the big screen and taken on by J.J. Abrams' production company, I liked it. So, yeah. All right, guys.
Go see it.
Go see it. Check it out. Check out some of our merchandise. The link is down below. Thank you
Sure
so
to
much for
subscribe.
watching.
Be sure to subscribe
Oh, yeah.
if you like our movie reviews or video game reviews. Either one.
Or if you just like to say mean things about us in the comments.
Yeah. and don't
Oh,
forget.
and yeah, hit the bell.
Yeah, hit the bell. Ding our dongs. See you next time. Bye, guys.